at 11. I'm Jason Dennis.
And I'm Barbara Goche. We're going to start tonight with some breaking news. Authorities still investigating after a multi-agency chase comes to an end. Columbus police confirming that the chase went on from Georgia into Alabama, back into Georgia. Officials say the suspects in the chase are wanted for felony offenses.
Police are still investigating those crimes and are waiting until they have those charges nailed down to release any more information. Remember, you can always find the latest details on the free WTVM News app as we show you a picture from the scene, video, and also a map of where this happened.
Also tonight, we are following some developing news. A power outage affecting an area around Manchester Expressway between Interstate 185 and Veterans Parkway. This is in Columbus. You can see on the map that St. Francis Hospital sits in the middle of that outage. We do know that the hospital did lose power for a while, according to employees, and it was operating on backup generators. But Georgia Power officials telling us tonight that the power should be back on at the hospital now or back on very soon.
Georgia Power telling us a tree fell on a power line in the 5,000 block of Rosemont Avenue, causing this power outage. About 350 customers remain without power at this hour. That's down from close to 900 who originally were out. Crews working to remove that tree as of now, and we'll continue to follow the story, bring you updates as we get them.
Some national news tonight. Attorney General William Barr will not testify in front of the House Judiciary Committee tomorrow. The decision coming after hours of questions and criticism at a hearing with Senate Judiciary members regarding his handling of the Mueller report. ABC's Trevor Ault has the very latest tonight from Washington.
Following an intense day of questioning on Capitol Hill Wednesday, Attorney General Bill Barr will not be taking part Thursday. The Department of Justice objecting to the plan of letting House Judiciary Committee members' lawyers question the Attorney General.
The Attorney General has a nerve to try to dictate, and the administration has a nerve to dictate our procedures.
Hours earlier, Barr forced to defend his actions against criticism from Special Counsel Robert Mueller himself. In a letter to Barr written March 27th, Mueller wrote the Attorney General's summary did not fully capture the context, nature, and substance of this office's work and conclusions.
This letter was an extraordinary act. A career prosecutor rebuking the Attorney General of the United States.
The letter's a bit snitty, and I think it was probably written by one of his staff people.
Barr saying Mueller's letter was a moot point, calling the reaction to it mind-bendingly bizarre because he was always planning to release the full, albeit lightly redacted report. One concern is Barr knew of Mueller's frustrations, but didn't reveal that when he testified last month.
Why did you say you were not aware of concerns?
Well, I answered a question, and the question was relating to unidentified members. I talked directly to Bob Mueller.
With Barr skipping the House Judiciary Committee hearing, Democratic Chair Jerry Nadler says they will not issue a subpoena Thursday, instead focusing on getting the unredacted Mueller report, which they have subpoenaed from the Department of Justice. Trevor Ault, ABC News, Washington.
Well, now that Georgia's former gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams is not running for U.S. Senate, former Columbus Mayor Teresa Tomlinson officially says she will. Tomlinson was Columbus's first ever female mayor, serving from 2011 until this past January. In a video announcement she tweeted out this morning that is, Tomlinson says she is running for Senate because she has spent her life making sure government has made a positive impact on the lives of its citizens.
I'm excited. I've watched her career for a long time. I watched her while she was a very successful attorney, and then as mayor, she was an extraordinary leader.
The Democrats are not doing anything in D.C. but fighting Trump, and if she gets elected, she's going to be part of the Schumer crowd that's what they're for.
A spokeswoman with Senator David Perdue says in a statement that, quote, he is a different kind of leader with a proven record of bipartisan results that continue. This will be Senator Perdue's last Senate run, as this would be his second term, and he is a firm believer in term limits.
Let's talk some weather for you today. High temperatures up there in the 80s, 88 in the Fountain City, 90 in Americus and Albany. So another warm day. We get a little bit of sun in here this time of year, and that's what can happen. Those temperatures can shoot up pretty quickly. Tonight, 73 in Macon and Columbus. Albany still warm at 78, so certainly a bit warmer than last night at this time. The humidity values have been up today as well. And notice the clouds in place. All things that are helping to keep those temperatures a little bit warmer now compared to this time 24 hours ago. Had a few few passing showers and storms today, but not much left on the radar view tonight. We expect things to stay dry overnight and dry early tomorrow morning. Now, we'll tell you more about how the rest of your Thursday looks and also Friday and the weekend weather. Well, that's coming up for you here in a bit, guys.
All right, Derek, thank you. Teams are still traveling to our area to lend a hand almost 2 full months after the deadly tornadoes in East Alabama. Henry White Jr. is preparing to re-enter his home after a tree fell on his roof March 3rd. This week, a crew from North Chicago kept their promise and drove more than 12 hours through the Alabama heat to help White and others impacted.
And I'm glad they come back because I had 5 group of people come here and they're the only one come back and did what they said they were going to do.
Well, the team spent today working on White's front porch and carport. They say they will keep working through Saturday morning. Since March 3rd, White's been staying in a trailer donated by a Texas couple, but this weekend he should be able to finally get back into the Smith Station home he's known all his life. And coming up this Friday, News Leader 9 is keeping you safe in the storm. Join our weather team for a special report looking back on the active severe weather season so far with tips to keep you and your family safe. That is this Friday at 7 right here on News Leader 9.
A Columbus teen is being charged now for reportedly shooting and killing a man on the street in Midtown Columbus last Tuesday. 17-year-old Tellius Brown pleaded not guilty to murder after the shooting death of 60-year-old Roy Wilburn. Witnesses report seeing Wilburn and Brown fight over a bike that appeared to belong to Wilburn before the shooting. Police say one of those witnesses told them Brown stated he was tired of walking. Police also linked Brown to the armed robbery at Zaxby's that happened on Auburn Avenue 2 weeks ago.
Alabama's Senate Judiciary Committee voted today to make it a hate crime to target someone because of their employment as a law enforcement officer or because of their sexual orientation. The committee discussing a bill adding police officers to the groups covered by Alabama's hate crime law, and Democratic Senator Vivian Davis added an amendment to include crimes targeting someone based on their sexual orientation. The committee approved the amendment and bill, which now moves to the full Senate.
Well, odds are your phone goes everywhere with you and you have online access whenever you need it, but that's not the case for everyone. Many folks in rural areas struggling to log on to the internet in Alabama, and when they do, it's often slow. We've seen efforts in the past to improve broadband access in rural areas. Well, now Alabama's state legislature is getting involved. News Leader 9's Lydia Nussbaum is at the State House with more.
Brandon Littleton is a music teacher here in Montgomery, but he doesn't always need to be here to teach.
With fast access to internet, I don't have to be physically present. I can be across the world and you can pipe me in and I can lead a class.
Through FaceTime, he teaches students.
But I can't do that on dial-up. I can't do that on DSL. I can't do that even with 50 megabyte download.
With more than 800,000 Alabamians without access to broadband, lawmakers are trying to incentivize more companies to expand.
If the kids in those communities are going to get their homework done in the afternoon, they've got to go to a spot that allows there to be internet access.
Those companies face a challenge going out into rural areas.
Well, obviously cost. It's been very expensive.
Companies currently pay a fee to access land where they can place broadband equipment. The cost depends on the county and city. State lawmakers have a bill to get rid of that fee for companies in certain circumstances. The House is expected to discuss the bill Thursday in hopes of bringing internet to those that don't have it.
It's just not sufficient enough to run a business. And if you're wanting to reach out and make a name for yourself while you're in the rural environment, you don't have the means to do that because you can't connect with the outside world.
Lydia Nussbaum, WTVM News Leader 9.
The Alabama counties that struggle the most to get access to broadband are in West Alabama and in the Black Belt.
We have an update for you now on that developing news we told you about at the beginning of our newscast. Power outage affecting an area around Manchester Expressway between Interstate 185 and Veterans Parkway in Columbus. Now, Georgia Power crews are working right now to remove a tree that fell on a power line in the 5,000 block of Rosemont Avenue, causing that outage. You're looking at a live picture there of the scene as that tree there down on the power lines, and crews there working to remove it. Officials telling us tonight that the power should be back on at St. Francis Hospital now. It was affected by this outage. If it's not back on now, they say that should be happening very soon, any minute now. About 350 customers do remain without power at this hour. That is down from close to 900 earlier.
Many older adults cannot afford senior living. They also don't qualify for government assistance or housing. Families across the nation are being left with no other option but to quit their jobs to take care of parents and family members who cannot afford that senior living care.
There's a new committee to find solutions to housing older Georgians. Along with that committee, the past session saw several other bills that show a sign of progress, protecting seniors from harm and neglect in personal homes, funding transportation services for older adults, and helping low-income adults with out-of-pocket health costs.
Police in Athens, Georgia, hoping someone can recognize a group of thieves tonight who robbed a gun shop and stole multiple weapons. Take a look. The driver hopped out, then 4 other men followed him inside. The crew split up, swiping as many guns as they could grab in less than a minute. Police said all 5 alleged thieves left in a white, newer model Audi with a sunroof, but not before one suspect gave officers a good look at his face. Detectives are hoping a $1,000 Crime Stoppers reward will get people talking.
Detail to figure out where he's at. Hopefully they don't get on the streets in the wrong hands. Hopefully police can recover what was stolen.
Last month there was another break-in at a gun store in Logan'sville. Police there think it could be this same crew. Anyone with information is asked to call authorities. Again, this is a picture of one of the alleged thieves' faces. Remember, there is a $1,000 reward.
New details tonight about the deadly shooting at the University of North Carolina at Charlotte. Ahead here on the news at 11. Please talk about a student who was killed and why he is being described as a hero.
Plus, that tragedy hitting home on UNCC's campus. Hear what students there are saying about a leader with the campus newspaper who was shot but survived.